Alright, this is a video on the area of trapezoids. And trapezoids have a different kind of formula because it's a shape that's made up, if you break it up, you've got a rectangle in the middle, or parallelogram in the middle, and then two triangles on the end. So you could divide it up and find it that way, since we already know the formulas for the area of a parallelogram and the area for a triangle. But we're going to give you a different formula, and this one's for the area of a trapezoid. So, in order to figure out the area of a trapezoid, you need a couple things. You need to have two bases. So we have base 1 and base 2. And those are the parallel sides. It could be the top and bottom, or it could be the left and the right. They're always going to be opposite of each other because they can never intersect since they're parallel. The other thing we'll need is the height. And the height needs to be perpendicular between the bases. Height perpendicular between the bases. Remember, this upside down T symbol means perpendicular. So it has to have this right angle here to show that it's perpendicular from one base to the other. Alright? So you need to have those three things. Base 1, base 2, and the height. Now it doesn't matter which one's base 1, base 2. Normally I tell people to make the smaller one base 1 and the larger one base 2. Doesn't matter though, because in the formula you're going to add them together and you get the same thing either way. So it's up to you how you want to do that. It could always be the top one is base 1 and the bottom one's base 2. Doesn't matter. But make sure you can tell the difference between the bases and the legs. Okay? Remember, the bases are the parallel sides. So we got another trapezoid here. And this one, the height's actually over here on the side. Okay? So that's just another trapezoid that you could see. We have base 1 and we have base 2. Again, it doesn't matter which one's base 1, base 2, as long as they are the parallel sides. Alright, so here's our formula. It is the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 times the height, and then we add base 1, base 2, and we multiply that times half the height. Okay? I'm going to write underneath here that H stands for the height, B1 and B2 are the bases of your trapezoid. Alright? So it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to plug things into the formula, and you can put it in a calculator if you needed to figure out the numbers. But it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you get the pieces, the height and the bases, in the right spots in the formula. Alright, so let's do our first example. We've got base 1 and base 2, the two parallel sides, and then we have the height here inside because it's perpendicular between the two bases. So if we plug that into our formula, 1/2 times the height, and then we have base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so let's simplify this. And this is normally where I would see a mistake. You're only going to multiply the half by the height. So half of 9 is 4.5. And then we're going to multiply that times 13 plus 5 is 18. So you're going to multiply those two numbers together. Some people get confused and they distribute the half to all of the numbers. You only take half of the height of the first number you're going to multiply by, and because it doesn't distribute through both. So you can put this in the calculator now. You do 4.5 times 18, and you would get 81. And then we need to put a label on this. 81 inches, and it's squared because we're talking about area. All right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Our second example here has an extra step to it. It's a little bit of thinking that you'll have to do on your own. We have base 1 on the top. We have the height on the inside. And then notice on the bottom here, we only know that this part is 4. We don't know this other chunk over here. It's not labeled in our picture. In reality, we know what it is because it's divided into a parallelogram and then a triangle, or a rectangle and a triangle. For a rectangle, the top and bottom, opposite sides, are going to be the same. So this is actually 6 meters here. So we know base 1 is 6. Base 2 is going to be 6 plus 4. So it would be 10, and then our height would be 5. And we could plug this in to our formula, 1/2 times the height times base 1 plus base 2. And remember, we only do half of the height, so 2.5 times, and 6 plus 10 is 16. We put that in our calculator, 2.5 times 16, and we end up getting 40, and we need to put a label on it, meters squared, since we're talking about area. Okay, so maybe a little bit of thinking involved on this, on some of these problems, where you have to find out the missing pieces, but I'm pretty sure you can handle it on your own based on everything we've learned about triangles and parallelograms and rectangles and all the other shapes. You could figure it out on your own. One more example here, a word problem example. It says if the area of a trapezoid is 39 meters squared and the bases are 11 and 15 meters, what is the height? So it's important we find the important information here. We know that the area is 39 meters squared and that the bases are 11 and 5. We're trying to find the height. For this problem, we're going to work backward. So we're going to take our formula and we're going to plug in what we know. Well, right now, we know, let's start with our formula. Area equals 1/2 times the height is B1 plus B2. We know that the area is 39. The half isn't going to change because we already know that. We're finding our height, so we're going to leave the h in there for height. And then we know B1 and B2. We know 11 and 15. Okay, so we're going to work backward for this problem. We're going to take the 39, leave it on this side by itself. Then we have 1/2, and I'm actually going to swap these around. I'm going to move the bases, add them together. So 11 plus 15 is 26. And then I'm going to move the h over here. So this time we're going to take half of 26. Since it's multiplication, we can move things around and it's not going to matter. 39 equals half of 26 is 13. So we have 13h. We need to isolate the h, get it by itself. So we divide both sides by 13. And then our height is 39 divided by 13 is 3. And we need to put a label on it, 3 meters. So for that one, you're using your formula, you're plugging in what you know, but you're working backward, isolating a variable in the problem in order to figure out whatever they're asking you for. It could be the height, could be either one of the bases also. So just pay attention to the problem and make sure you read it closely and figure out what information you have and what you're looking for. So those are your notes on the area of a trapezoid. Make sure you have the formula down because that's the important part. And if you have any questions, ask them in class next time.